Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Andrea Lutz. After much controversy over masks and a mandate set to expire in schools, what will a task force in Missoula do next? We're breaking it down coming up, but first. Facebook says configuration changes caused routers to shut down for hours yesterday. Here's today's leading look. The social media giant says the problem got worse before engineers figured it out. The outage shut off access for Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp for users and employees. Well, the South Moccasin fire burning near Lewistown continues to threaten homes this afternoon. Some residents are evacuating their homes and their livestock. So far, there's no cause of what started that fire. Johnson & Johnson will seek authorization for its COVID booster shot this week. It is the latest company to request approval. Meanwhile, Missoula County is breaking records in new COVID infections and hospitalizations. The highest infection rate has been in young adults. Hospitals are seeing 9 out of 10 COVID patients unvaccinated. And also in Missoula, the city is considering a new design for Higgins Avenue. Some ideas include eliminating on-street parking and bringing back the trolley, but some businesses fear it will hurt their profits. The Butte Folk Festival will return this July. The festival has a tremendous economic impact, bringing in $10 million a year. But here's something: vaccinations are highly encouraged for anyone who attends next summer. That's today's leading look.
Well, I just want to remind everybody about the drought situation that we have in the state, actually across the entire region, where we're in some form of drought. Maybe some relief on the way. Could start to see some rain as early as tomorrow morning. More on that in just a second. But this is our trend over the next 6 to 10 days and into the middle of October, where we're starting to lean a little wetter than average. Now, these are trends. They could absolutely change, but they've held steady over the last couple of days, so our fingers are crossed. Let's see if it makes a dent in those drought situations. I mentioned we could see some rain as early as tomorrow morning. That's via a cold front that's coming out of the Pacific Northwest. It's going to cool us down, and it's going to have some moisture attached to it. We'll take a look at that, how will it affect the region, with the main forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Next week, the MCPS mask mandate expires, and the district's COVID task force is expected to have a recommendation to the school board as to what should happen next. At the Monday task force meeting, county health officials and the MCPS health team presented more data as promised during their last meeting. Numbers show less than ideal progress on the COVID front. For example, last week, 284 students and staff were on quarantine. Jefferson Preschool even closed due to a lack of staffing, and they'll be shut down through Friday. But for those enforcing the mask mandate, it can be a challenging job on top of the responsibility they already have in the classroom.
The majority of kids are really respectful about that. But, I would say, if I had to put percentage-wise, I would say probably, again, anecdotally, 20-25% of students are not wearing masks how they should be, I guess, up over nose and whatnot. So the amount of reminders is getting kind of tedious.
As the group determines what they'll recommend for mask wearing moving forward, Superintendent Watson has given them 3 options, all subject to minor adjustments. The options range from eliminating the mask mandate for only high school students to eliminating the mandate once vaccines are available for the younger students. However, each option to reduce the mask wearing requires community and school COVID trends to improve. In Missoula, Megan Mannering, MTN News.
It's a challenging time to work in the healthcare industry.
We have had teams working around the clock from the beginning of the pandemic. Just again, we think we're coming out of it, and then it goes back again.
For many of these workers, it's not just the hours that have been extended, but the workload as well.
The higher number of patients, their sicker patients, and trying to coordinate that with staffing shortages. certainly has been a challenge.
Which prompted an idea to support these men and women.
If we could just get the community together, as many people as possible, to come out and just spread our arms wide out and hopefully go around the whole distance, the whole perimeter of the hospital, and really have that visual of a hug.
Hence the name of the event, Hug the Hospital.
If we could have 500, that would be really amazing. Some people said it was too big of a goal. You'll never get 500 people out there. And then somebody else said, well, I don't know, there was 18,000 people at the stadium on Saturday, so I think we can probably get 500.
The event is more symbolic versus literally hugging the building.
The visual is just, again, that we are going to have some drones that are going to fly over aerial. And so if we could have enough people that had their arms stretched out all the way around the hospital, that there would be that visual that the hospital was being hugged by all of our arms.
And for workers, the symbolism will be significant.
The visible support really lets them know that their contributions matter and that the community cares about them and acknowledges the work that they're doing.
The actual event will be Wednesday, October 6th at 6 p.m. Reporting at Bozeman Health, Annie Johnson, MTN News.